See now. So, firstly, the announcement on the, and it is only the small part, but the announcement on the 45 pence tax rate, does it make any difference to the economics?
No. The politics, yes. The economics, no. The big question that's unresolved is how those, well, it's now 43 billion of income tax cuts, the national insurance contributions, the corporate income taxes that Rishi Sunak had put in place to finance extra NHS spending. They're not going through now. Liz Truss thought there was 30 billion available pretty much to pay for those. That was the headroom that the OBR had in their March forecast. But that's pretty much been wiped out, right, given the deterioration since March. So essentially there's a sort of 50 billion hole in the public finances in the medium term, which is going to need filling in the Chancellor's November statement. Have you ever seen anything like it? I mean, you were at how long were you at the bank? Oh, I was 14 years at the bank, but I go a long way back. I started in the Treasury in 1975, so I saw us going to the IMF in 1976. I saw the early days of Mrs. Thatcher before I became an academic, Black Wednesday, all those sorts of things. I have never seen anything like this because it's self-inflicted.
But which bit of it frustrates you the most of what we did? Is it the actual policy? Is it the fact that it wasn't sent to the OBR for forecasts? Or is it the presentation that the markets have been taken by surprise? Well,
there's a mix of things. And they needn't have made such a horlicks of it if all they had done 10 days ago was do the energy price guarantee, spell out the growth plan. There's some good things in there. There's some other things in there which, you know, personally I don't find that convincing. And, you know, Martin Wolf earlier on was saying he didn't find some of what's in there. But not doing the income tax cuts and say, well, you know, we'll come back to them at a future date with an OBR forecast and a story about how it all fits together. The problem was they didn't have that convincing story. That's why the markets took fright. And it was compounded by the fact that they've been slagging off the bank, firing the Treasury Permanent Secretary on the Chancellor's first day, sidelining the OBR for this fiscal event, all give the impression of degrading the institutional framework which surrounds economic policy making.
The bank, by that we're talking about the Bank of England, the bank moved quickly. It, first of all, putting out a statement, basically a version of we'll do whatever it takes, and then it did the next day by announcing it was printing money again. It was QE was back on the cards. Do you think they will have to do more QE, or will the 65 billion be sufficient? And at what point will they have to raise rates to account for the greater expenditure?
Okay, it's worth saying first of all that they haven't spent anything well, and the action here is a short-term liquidity action to support gilt prices, to stop pension funds having to make fire sales to meet margin calls. The hope is that that is just a temporary problem, that pension funds can sell some other assets, get their balance sheets in order. There is going to be a crunch point on October the 14th when the current support facility comes to an end. And the question is, if the support is removed, are we going to see those bond yields shoot up again?
On the macroeconomic of monetary policy, do you envisage the bank having to raise rates substantially more than they would previously have done because of this?
Certainly as it is at the moment. And essentially the bank have already said that. There was discussion about whether there should be an emergency meeting after the budget, and given the turmoil and so forth. They didn't go for that. The line was, you know, we'll meet in November as scheduled. But Hugh Pill, the chief economist, in a very clear statement, said that the mini budget would have a substantial monetary consequence. which I think means at least 75 or 100 basis points.
Really?
Yes. Yeah. Anything less than that, it wouldn't look that substantial, frankly. So.
We talk about a tug of war between monetary and fiscal policy. Now, in a recession, there's always an element of that because the bank is raising rates but governments are doing targeted expenditures. This tug of war is Olympic size at the moment.
Yeah, again, I think it's useful with the fiscal side of it to separate the energy price guarantee part of it.
Right.
Which obviously has some effect at boosting demand.
But that's classic. That's classic support.
Because it holds the price down, it actually helps to reduce the risk of so-called second-round effects, where people push for compensatory pay increases and businesses pushing extra costs through into prices. So that bit's not the contentious bit. It was the other stuff, the income tax reductions, which are clear demand boosting, which the bank then has to completely offset by raising interest rates more.
As you say, never seen anything like it.
Absolutely.
Sir Charlie, your first time with Quest Means Business. Very grateful that you came in tonight. Thank you, sir.
Very good to see you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much indeed.